take a second and just really imagine the last traditional wedding you attended.
Oh, boy.
Right? Like, really put yourself back in that space.
Yeah.
You probably, you rushed from your hotel to a church or maybe a banquet hall.
Yeah, usually sweating in formal wear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sweating, sitting through a highly formal ceremony, and then you were just immediately thrust into this frantic, high-decibel blur.
Oh, the reception.
The reception.
Yeah.
You're making small talk over a plate of, like, slightly cold chicken.
Yeah.
You're practically shouting over a chaotic, thumping dance floor just to catch up with a friend you haven't seen in, what, 5 years?
And you get, if you're lucky, maybe 90 seconds of FaceTime with the actual couple.
Yes. 90 seconds. And then, before you even have a chance to process the evening, the house lights flip on, the DJ is winding up his cables, and you're just standing on a dark curb waiting for a rideshare.
Feeling completely exhausted.
Completely drained. Now, I want you to contrast that feeling with waking up in a cozy mountain lodge. You throw on a sweater, you grab a cup of coffee, you wander down to an outdoor patio. Your favorite people in the world are already there. They're just lounging, laughing, and there is zero rush. No one is looking at a watch.
Because you're all there for a multi-day vacation.
Exactly.
It is a profoundly different emotional landscape. I mean, you are trading a high-pressure countdown clock for actual unscripted breathing room.
And that psychological shift is the entire focus of our deep dive today. We are tracking a massive cultural and event shift that is hitting its absolute peak right now in 2026, the explosion of the weddication across the USA and Canada.
It's everywhere right now.
It really is. And our primary sources today are a major trend report and a thick stack of comprehensive planning guides curated by Weddizer.
Right, which is huge in the industry.
Massive. If you follow event tech or hospitality trends at all, Weddizer is basically the engine driving modern event planning. They facilitate the logistics for thousands of events.
So their platform data gives us a very real front row seat to what couples and guests actually want right now. The results are striking.
They really are. So our mission today is to figure out what this trend is, why it's dominating the industry, and how it completely changes the way we gather.
Because when we dig into the Weddizer data, it becomes very clear this isn't just a subtle tweak to a reception timeline.
Right, or like a new floral aesthetic.
Exactly. It is a complete tearing down and rebuilding of how we celebrate milestones.
Okay, let's unpack this. A traditional wedding is like a 100-meter sprint, but a wedcation is like a really fun scenic marathon where they hand out wine instead of water.
I love that analogy, and what's fascinating here is the underlying motivation. This isn't about throwing longer parties just for the sake of excess.
It's not just a 5-day rager.
No, not at all. According to the internal metrics, Weddizer tracks things like how couples structure their timelines and where they allocate their budgets. This is a fundamental psychological rebellion.
A rebellion against the rush.
Precisely. Couples are actively trying to combat the rushed feeling of traditional events. For decades, the standard wedding has been an exercise in compression.
Oh, that's a good word for it. Compression.
Think about it. You are trying to compress a profound life commitment, a massive family reunion, a catered dinner, a dance party, and heartfelt farewells, all into a highly regimented 5-hour window.
Which sounds insane when you say it out loud.
It creates an immense amount of anxiety. The wedding is a direct rejection of that model. It's the realization that you cannot, under any circumstances, manufacture genuine connection on a strict timetable.
You're taking the pressure cooker off the stove.
Exactly.
So now that we understand the vibe, I think we need to look at the anatomy and the economics of these events.
Yep.
Because the Weddizer reports outline a timeline that stretches anywhere from 2 to 5 days.
We are completely tossing out the old ceremony and reception monolith.
Right. Instead, the typical flow starts with guests arriving for a relaxed welcome dinner, or maybe a cocktail hour on day 1.
Just to settle in.
Yeah. And then day 2 might involve optional group adventure activities. Then you have the rehearsal events, the actual wedding day itself, and it all wraps up with a farewell brunch.
It's a full itinerary.
It is. And the sources point to 4 main drivers fueling this. The first is unlocking quality time with guests. The second is creating unique shared experiences. The third is achieving a destination feel without the headache of international travel. And the fourth is getting a better value for the investment.
And that fourth point is usually where people get tripped up.
I am definitely tripped up by it. I mean, I hear the phrase better value, but let's live in reality for a second. paying for a 5-day party versus a 5-hour party sounds like a financial disaster.
It sounds counterintuitive.
Right. A higher return on investment doesn't magically put more cash in a couple's bank account.
Yeah.
So are couples actually taking out second mortgages for this, or are they just slashing the guest list from 150 people down to like 40 to make the math work?
Well, you've hit on the exact mechanism of how this is funded. The Weddizer budget tracking data reveals a fascinating reallocation of funds.
Okay.
You are entirely correct that they are slashing the guest lists. The Wedcation thrives on the micro-wedding model. Instead of paying for 150 superficial interactions, couples are choosing 40 deep interactions.
Wow, 40 deep interactions. That makes a lot of sense.
But beyond the guest count, it is crucial to understand how they redefine value. In a traditional 5-hour wedding, you are sinking tens of thousands of dollars into highly ephemeral things.
Things that just disappear.
Right. You pay a massive premium for elaborate floral installations that live for a few hours, a single-plated dinner, and a rented room that you are legally required to vacate by midnight.
So the money is basically evaporating at midnight.
Precisely. The cost per hour is astronomical, and the assets vanish the next day. With a Wedcation, the investment is fundamentally redirected.
Where's it going?
The money goes toward lodging, extended shared meals, and experiences, and often it's a subsidized model.
Subsidize how? Like by the guests.
Yeah. The couple might rent out an entire boutique lodge, but the guests are still paying a standard nightly rate for their rooms, just like they would for any vacation.
Oh, I see. That offsets the couple's overall venue cost.
Exactly. The financial capital is transformed into experiential capital. The ROI isn't measured in the height of the centerpieces or the rarity of the champagne.
It's measured in the depth of the memories created over 3 days of shared living.
You got it.
You are measuring the success of the budget not by what you bought, but by how long the feeling lasts. That completely flips the script on event planning.
It really does.
So if the whole point is experiential ROI, you can't exactly achieve that in a windowless hotel ballroom next to a loud airport.
Definitely not.
The environment has to do the heavy lifting to create that sustained feeling.
The venue is no longer just a backdrop for photographs. In the Wedcation model, the venue is the ecosystem. It dictates the pace, the mood, and the flow of human interaction for several days.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Choosing a venue is basically like choosing a theme for an adult summer camp.
That is a perfect way to describe it.
I want you, listening right now, to imagine which camp you'd prefer to be invited to. The Weddizer sources detail 5 main venue archetypes that are absolutely dominating the 2026 landscape.
And they cater to very different vibes.
Right, so we have mountain resorts, drawing the nature lovers, beachfront retreats for those sunset ceremonies, luxury lodges and cabins which provide this incredibly cozy private vibe.
Oh, I love a cabin vibe.
Same. Then there are vineyards and wineries for the romantic, elegant experience. And finally, historic estates, offering a timeless, sophisticated atmosphere. And the geographic hotspots for these are very specific right now. In the USA, it's California vineyards, Colorado mountain resorts, and Florida beaches.
And up north.
Up in Canada, we are looking at the lodges in Banff National Park, coastal retreats in British Columbia, and the historic estates out in the Quebec countryside.
Think about how the specific architecture and isolation of those environments force different types of interactions.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, a sprawling beachfront retreat in Florida allows guests to scatter. People can go surfing, walk the boardwalk, or just read on a balcony. It's a very autonomous, choose-your-own-adventure vibe.
Right. Very open.
But contrast that with a luxury lodge in Banff during the winter.
Oh, lots of snow.
Exactly. The cold weather and the isolation pull everyone inward. Guests are forced to gather around the massive stone fireplaces. The environment creates an enforced, cozy intimacy.
So the couple is literally outsourcing the vibe to the venue.
They absolutely are.
It takes all the pressure off the couple to be the sole source of entertainment. They don't have to hire a magician or a 10-piece band because the venue itself provides the hiking trails, the wine tastings, or the beach access.
And that built-in entertainment is a core reason why domestic destinations in the US and Canada are dominating the Weddizer search trends over complex international travel.
That makes sense. I mean, going to a villa in Tuscany sounds incredible, but the friction to get there is immense.
Oh, it's huge. You're dealing with passports, currency exchanges, potential language barriers, and exhausting.
Exhausting 12-hour flights.
Yeah,
Half your guests arrive completely jet-lagged.
exactly. A mountain resort in Colorado gives you that spectacular, immersive, away-from-it-all feeling, but it removes the friction of international travel.
Because guests can just take a short domestic flight or even drive.
Right. You lower the collective stress level before the event even begins, which means guests arrive ready to connect, not needing a full day just to recover from the journey.
So proximity is power here.
Definitely.
But I'm assuming that means you're not just booking a venue, you're also basically taking on the role of a travel agent and a cruise director for 50 people.
Which sounds terrifying.
It sounds completely terrifying. Picking a stunning luxury lodge is the dream, but seamlessly moving guests through a 5-day itinerary requires serious logistical strategy.
How does a couple pull this off without the whole thing devolving into chaos? Well, the blueprint provided in the Weddizer planning guides is very specific about this. The single most important tactical decision a couple can make is choosing an all-in-one venue.
All in one meaning.
The venue must combine the accommodations and the event spaces on the exact same property.
Oh, I see.
The moment you introduce shuttle buses to move guests from a separate hotel to an activity